So welcome to me and thank you for coming to talk to us today. Thank you. Networking works. That's the message that I'd like to convey to you today. Whatever it is you want to achieve in your career, you can achieve it by talking to the right people. The people at the IBA seem to be quite interested in that, and so we're well on the way to having our conference in Adelaide in a couple of years. And the way they found me was through LinkedIn, because that's where I listed my IBA committee attachments. Now, if I hadn't used LinkedIn, I wonder how else they would have found me. Make sure that you always keep your business cards in the same pocket or the same area of your bag so that you can always find them, because invariably you're going to be balancing a drink or a cup of tea and a plate of supper or whatever, and you need to know where to find your business cards. You will be constantly handing them out. What I've found is that people tend to deal out their cards like they're at the casino. And the more people you meet, the more people who know what you do, the more your practice will grow. People do business with people they like, know and trust. And I've met quite a lot of those people and found them to be really nice, sane, normal people, not axe murderers at all. I have a blind date somewhere amongst the 6,000. A man contacted me last week and he said, "I'd like to meet you." I never knew him in Adelaide, so I'm going to meet him here in Boston for the first time. So we've been texting. I arrived at the opening party last night. Who was there? What do you reckon my chances were at meeting my date? I tried. Half an hour later, I pull out my phone and I go, oh, text back, "Hello, John." Sitting behind the piano in black dress. So I sit behind the piano for quite a while and I eye every man who walks past. I look at their name badges. Are they called John? Haven't met him yet. We've continued to text. 6 p.m. we're meeting tomorrow. I could see most of the people were arriving as couples. I was at the conference by myself and I thought, if I sit with couples I'm going to feel a bit out of place. I'm not sure I'm going to have a good night if I'm seated with all these couples. What can I do? I thought quickly, what can I do? Because the hordes are streaming in and there's this crush towards the front of the restaurant. I had to do something. I went, "Are there any singles?" 3 people turned around, 2 men and a woman. They said, "We're single." Now we're on a double date. We had the best time in the lead up to the conference. I got prepared. I thought, it's an international conference. I come from Australia. What can I do to meet people? I had a friend who was a chocolate maker. When I went to the lunches at the conference, every person at the table got a chocolate koala. I'm sure they thought I was rather strange, but I'd like to think they remembered me. The trouble was, I had way too many koalas. Here's what I do. I make a note. This person sat to my right, this person sat to my left, this person sat directly opposite me, this person sat 2 to my right, this person is interested in poetry, etc. So that when I get home, I have at least some recollection of who the people were who I met, and I can refer to those points in the email that I sent them, that I send them afterwards. Don't send a generic list email, "Lovely to meet you at IBA." please send any work that you care to. I would suggest that's not likely to go very far. Every time you say hello to somebody you've met before, you put on another layer. Whenever you invite somebody to link in, you put on a layer. And that's what I recommend you do when you go back home, is to invite people to link in. Because that's a good way of keeping in touch with anybody who you've met. He touched my shoulder. He said, "We're linked in." And that's when it struck me what a powerful tool is LinkedIn. What I would recommend is that you stay with the IBA, come to next year's conference, build another layer